Wowza. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Kelsey. I'm an actor and voice actor living in Chicago, as you may see behind me, the lovely city of Chicago. And today I will be reacting to I Spent a Day with Video Game Voice Actors, in parentheses, Face Reveal, by AnthonyPadilla. Now, I'm really excited about this one because I am a voice actor, in case you didn't catch that. And I'm betting anything that I'm probably going to at least know who these people are, who he interviews. And I'm excited to see what they say that I know already and what they say that I don't know. So, yeah, let's get started.
Video game voice actors, the talented voices behind our favorite video game characters who shaped our childhoods. In 1980, the game Berserk brought voice acting to video games for the first time in history, causing audiences to be completely blown away by its realism. At the time, computer voice compression was extremely expensive, estimated to have cost the manufacturer $1,000 per word. Since then, the video game industry has exploded at an unprecedented rate, currently raking in over $140 billion a year. And the demand for quality video game voice actors is higher than ever before.
Look at those U87s.
My name's Anthony Padilla, and today I'm going to be sitting down with some of the best video game voice actors in the industry to learn the truth behind their jobs. Are they living out their childhood dreams, voicing the most iconic characters in video game history? Or do they feel immense pressure to live up to the unattainable expectations of the most cynical fans? Are these voice actors hard-working artists focused on crafting iconic voices to shape our culture for generations? Or are they lazy, clout-chasing parrots, drifting from one gig to the next, only...
As a voice actor, I can say that's what I am. I'm a lazy, clout-chasing parrot. That's what I am. That's what people call me all the time. Also, oh no, I also wanted to pause because I thought that this was my mic, what this person is recording on, but it is not. I will probably be a huge nerd, and if I see someone recording with like a mic that is the same mic that I have, I'll probably pause and be like, look guys, that's my mic.
Motivated by fame and fortune.
Fortune? Hardly. You can make ends meet as a voice actor, but unless you're literally Mark Hamill or Andy Samberg in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, who is a famous actor outside of being a voice actor, or Idris Elba or something, you're not making millions. You'll be able to make ends meet and survive off of voice acting, which is fantastic, but unless it's starting to become more of a thing, and I'm already pausing and talking so much. But it's starting to become more of a thing that people are getting paid more, and some commercial voiceover jobs can pay 50 grand or more depending on usage and renewals and stuff. But so riches, fame and fortune, hardly.
Hey, Tara.
Hello.
Hello. KG.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Okay, both of these people are legends.
Thank you so much for coming out and teaching me about the wondrous world of video game voice acting.
Of course, man. Happy to be here.
What do you consider yourself? Video game voice actor? Just voice actor in general?
Probably just
I call myself voice actor.
I call myself a talker.
You get paid to talk?
I always say I used to get in trouble for talking too much in school, so now I've made a career out of it.
First detention, now attention.
No,
so what does being
it does
a
not
video
work like
game
that.
voice actor consist of?
A lot of it, I want to say a good 60% is still screaming when you're getting stabbed.
How long?
Big oofs. Yeah, so many. Video game voice acting can be incredibly vocally stressful. And sometimes they will, depending on a lot of factors, so I can't give a definitive thing, but sometimes they will pay you more money if they know it's going to be a vocally stressful session, which is cool. But yeah, video game voice acting can be very vocally stressful.
How long have you been a video game voice actor?
I started around 13 years ago.
Probably did my first game about 20 years ago when I was working on Pokemon.
Wait, you did voice acting for Pokemon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Legend.
what?
You
Legends
want to
only.
hear the voice?
Yeah. What was your voice?
Bulbasaur.
No!
Yeah.
They only
Legend.
do it to get that reaction.
How many video games do you think you've
Such a
provided?
legend. Both of these people are such legends.
40? 40? That's a lot of games.
That's a good number of
That's
games.
a good number of games.
Probably around 50, I'd say.
50 games?
But like, you have to understand, sometimes we go in and we're called additional voices.
Oh.
So that's a lot of it.
Additional
Yeah.
voices
I
is
go in and I'm
so
like,
much.
the shopkeeper. And
Who
then
gets
like,
one line?
yeah, totally. So that's why we don't know a lot about the game itself.
What are some games that you think people watching might recognize your voice acting in?
Recently, I've been doing a bunch of the Fire Emblem games. So I play Sonya in
Yep.
Heroes and Echoes. She sounds much more interesting than I do.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's weird.
Recently, we just had a very lovely
She's
movie
very-
called Detective Pikachu.
Huh?
Based off the 3DS game, and I
Yes.
provided the voice of Detective Pikachu. in
You
the-
are Detective
in
Pikachu.
the actual video game, yes,
Legend.
Can you do an example of that voice?
Yeah, sure. Detective Pikachu, you know, before he was Ryan Reynolds' eyes, he was kind of this guy, you know?
Yeah.
Sound like he had 6 marriages,
little more
14
gruff.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
could give you tax
14.
advice, you know,
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I want
6
him on my
packs
side.
a day. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
What do you do to prepare your voice for a voice recording session?
I do a lot of
water.
A lot of that. There's
Yep.
a lot of that.
That works? What is that doing?
I have no
'Cause
idea.
I've done that before. And
I can tell you what that's doing. So, and I literally only know this because I have a degree in vocal performance. And even then, I do not have a master's in vocal performance or vocal education. So please know that while I know this, I am not the authority and I might have some details a little bit wrong. So when you speak or sing, what's happening with your vocal folds? So very basic. No one cares about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So you got your lungs, you got your airway, like your trachea and like your vocal, let's say vocal mechanism up here in your neck area. And then your vocal folds are kind of like a little door on top of all of that. And they like to, like unless you're like tensing your throat or something, when you're not speaking or anything, they just sit there closed like this, kind of like a little trap door, except not really, or more like this. So imagine I'm about to like do some, like some like vocal pedagogy jutsu over here. But yeah, somewhere between this and this, because it like goes down a little ways, but then your vocal folds are on top. So they sit together. And when air comes from your lungs, pushed up by your diaphragm, what happens is the Bernoulli effect. So it's essentially your vocal mechanism, your vocal folds, and the tissue underneath them going like this. Like these are the bubbles of air that are coming up. And that creates the vibrations really, really fast. That creates the vibrations that create sound. And then however your head is shaped, like how big you are, how small you are, what kind of tissues you got going on in your head and neck and chest, all determine what your unique voice sounds like. Now, if your throat is tense or if you haven't properly warmed up, sometimes you can, it's like any muscle, right? Like if you decide to go run a marathon without stretching or having trained, like your muscles are going to get hurt because you're going from like cold muscles to like, and that will hurt you. So similar principle with voices. So if you haven't warmed up your voice before you do a session, if you're a singer before you sing, then you're going, say you're doing a bunch of efforts or like sounds of like getting killed or like throwing a huge boulder or slashing with an axe for like video game VO. That's like doing the marathon with no training or no warming up. And instead of your vocal folds going like this neatly and being warm and having blood flowing in there, they'll just start slapping together. And that can irritate your vocal folds and cause tears or nodes, or which have to sometimes be surgically removed, or bleeding in some cases, So that's not good. Or you can be tense. So your muscles of your neck are preventing your vocal folds. This is what I struggled with growing up and in college. You're tense, so your vocal folds don't close all the way, so they're more like that. So you get a little bit of a breathy sound, and also like it's also not good for your vocal folds. So you want that flow phonation, that Bernoulli effect. So what doing does is it essentially forces you to, your lips are doing largely the same thing, the same Bernoulli effect. So what that is doing is forcing you to produce a steady, supportive, and relaxed enough stream of air that you can create the Bernoulli effect up here as well as down here. So that essentially strengthens your vocal support and helps warm up, get blood flowing in your vocal mechanism, as well as helping get you loose and ready and get your breath support correct so you're less likely to hurt yourself. That was a long explanation, but that's why you do that. That's why that's a great vocal warm up.
And all it does is make me feel real dumb.
Are you ready to sleep?
It gets me a little dizzy. Maybe I enjoy that.
How would your younger self react?
It does, because you're using a lot of air when you do that. A lot of air that is getting expelled out, and it's like, if you were to like take a huge breath and like scream or like sing a note for a really long time, and then you're like out of breath at the end, same principle.
To knowing that you would grow up and have video game voice acting be part of your career.
He'd just be really happy I didn't turn out to be a doctor.
I think they'd just be shocked that someone paid me to talk. And it wasn't some teacher telling me to shut up.
Do you play the video games that you voice?
I try to listen to all my stuff that come out a little bit, even if it's on YouTube. I will definitely play the games that, you know, I'm genre interested in.
I think my voice is pretty annoying.
So you listen to your voice in games and get annoyed by yourself?
I am so sick of my own voice.
Is annoying.
And I hope no one else is, but I am.
What's the most difficult voice acting gig you've ever been a part of?
There was a game called Disgaea 5. I was a character named Red Magnus.
Red Magnus was this voice, always, for hours on end.
And that's it. He never got quieter than that. So after hour, I think it was 30 something, yeah, I coughed up a little blood.
You coughed up blood?
I coughed up blood in the...
Vocal fold perforation, not full perforation, but like so much irritation that you cough up blood. That is unfortunately a thing. And ouch. I hope the director was kind enough to just be like, hey, let's stop and maybe reschedule this session for another day, give you like a week or something, or at least a couple days to recoup, I hope.
Booth. I would not be able to reprise that role if they offered it to me today.
You would have to decline.
I would so turn
That's
it down.
so stressful.
Yeah, the money was great. The health loss was
Not worth it.
noticeable.
How do
worth
you recover from that?
I didn't talk for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Just
vocal
2 weeks
rest.
of silence before I can even pretend to scream again. It was bad.
Can you teach me some of the basics of video game voice acting?
There's
So, I cannot wait to hear what he's going to say here. But not the same in terms of vocal exertion, but I just recorded I think 400-ish, 420 maybe, I don't remember, page audiobook. And that was out of 7 days. 5 of those days, I was recording just me talking like this, but for 8 hours almost straight. We would have like 5 and 10-minute breaks like every hour, and then we had like 30 minutes for lunch. But 8 hours a day for 5 days out of 7, I was just, and I never got to the point of coughing up blood because I think that yelling is way more intense than just talking. There are also other dangers that come with just talking the way you do, because when we talk normally, we don't, like how we do in everyday life, we don't tend to support our voices a lot because we just aren't thinking about it, as opposed to doing a character voice. You're like, this is not how I normally talk. I'm not leaning into my old habits. I'm just like, paying attention to how my breath is, you know? Just stuff like that. So, but yeah, when I went home from all of those sessions and the days where I had a day off, I was like, I will not let myself talk at all. And I definitely did, but not a lot. Like if I started talking, I would like type out or write out stuff to my partner on my phone or on a piece of paper because I was like, I am not talking. I'm not risking losing my voice and hurting my voice and having us have to reschedule.
Three things you can do to
people are just on vocal rest.
Join the ranks of video game voice acting right now. So the classics are screaming grenade.
Scream the word grenade.
Right?
That's a basic.
Number 2, getting lit on
Unlicensed
fire.
copy.
Okay.
For like 5-6 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And 3, falling off a cliff.
Those
Falling
are
off a
basics.
cliff.
I've
That's
heard
right.
all of those things happen
Absolutely.
in multiple video games.
Most video games, those 3 things will happen.
That's
All
so fun. I hadn't thought about
You're in a
that.
room with your soldier friends, right?
Oh.
The enemies are coming around the corner. You see a grenade get launched, and your friends don't see it. You scream, grenade! It goes off.
That
with a
was
huge
great.
explosion. You're knocked to your feet. You come to. You notice that fire has spread through the room. It's crawling up your arms.
Anthony's killing it. Pixelization.
It's everywhere! It's everywhere!
You're feeling like you're getting close to a cliff. You stumble, and you fall.
That's in Norway. Okay, wait, hang on. Yeah. The face.
Oh my goodness, I am honored. I am honored.
Sir,
From Detective Pikachu himself.
you are now officially a video game voice actor. Welcome. Welcome.
What are your deepest
Okay. That was, first of all, bravo. But that brings me to another point. I bet you're all loving Kelsey decides she's a teacher hour, but I am. So I hope you are, because I don't know if it's clear, but I love talking about this stuff. So, an important thing that contributed just now to the success of, and I'm no authority, by the way, this is just stuff I've picked up from, learning about vocal performance and vocal pedagogy and then having been a voice actor and taking class. I'm no authority. Like I'm not, if someone asked me to teach a voice acting class, I'd be like, no, I am not. I do not have the credentials. I do not have the experience yet. I will not. But I can tell you what is cool and good about what I'm seeing. So part of the reason that Anthony's efforts were so successful just now is the physicality he brought to them. And that is really, and I hit my mic, and that is really important to realistic or convincing, whether it's just a line read or like an effort in a video game, is adding a bit of motion, or if you don't have the room in the booth, at least like going like that to pretend you're punching, so you at least get the abdominal like engagement and torque that you would if you were actually punching someone. And because otherwise, if you're just standing and you're just like, oh, jump off a cliff, and you're just like, standing stock still. First of all, you might not get enough breath in your body because you're just standing there frozen. And also, it's hard to make it sound convincing if your body's not actually doing something at least similar or suggestive of what your character is supposed to be doing, right? Now, the issue with that is, what he did is mics are directional. So if you're like flailing all over the room, like, I mean, look at this. Like, mics are directional. Especially the types of mics used for like video game and animation recording. So you can't be moving all around and expect the mic to pick up the sounds you're making. So you have to learn to balance moving a little bit or learning how to suggest those movements while still like being near the mic. It's kind of why if you've ever seen like a video of like a rapper in a recording booth or a singer, if they're moving around, they're like, da 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 da, because the mic is directional. And like their head stays there like a chicken because they want the sound to be going into the mic rather than going, because that doesn't work and you don't get good sound and then everybody's just confused and it's a waste of time. But yeah, so it's a cool balance between that. And also the other risk of moving around a lot is what I did there. Hitting your mic, which I have done and ruined good takes. But yeah, that was really impressive. He's on his way, folks. He's on his way.
And highest pitched voices sound like.
So it goes anywhere from down here for like Sonya and Fire Emblem.
Just talking like this when sometimes I have to play a little girl.
Yeah, these are your kind of.
Okay. No one's asking, but I'm going to do that. Okay. Because I know y'all in the comments have said before when I do voices, whoa, that was pretty neat. Or maybe some people I haven't seen have said, wow, Kelsey sucks and I don't care. But guess what? I don't care about that. Okay. I have to like think about it. Okay, so this is my more seductive, lower-voiced characters here. Yeah, this is more of a villain or maybe the head of a company who takes nothing from anybody. And then I have to like focus because I'm nervous because I'm being recorded. Usually no one's seeing me while I'm doing this. It's just my voice. Okay.
Hi there, my name's Kelsey, and I'm a little girl. And it's great to be here watching this video with you all, and it's just a great day.
Got a little screamy there, but I'm also hunched over and nervous. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do all the voices in between. They're so fun. The most fun voices to me are the voices that are the most unlike your own voice. But also, some people don't have a range in voices where they can like,
maybe do this.
and then do this. And that's okay, too. If you're good, if you're really, really, really good at doing voices that are closer to your normal speaking range, that's also fantastic. Because all types of voices are needed, and you might corner the market on voices that sound like yours if you're really good at stuff closer to your natural range, you know?
Bandits, these are your kind of like, hey, protagonists, let's get into a fight, guys.
This is my protag voice, the young protag 16, you know,
yeah.
kind of douchey, but you know,
But
that's
like,
just
mature.
yeah, kind of mature, you know. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on? What are consequences? I don't know.
I'd like to jump on the back of a motorcycle with this guy.
Right? Yeah, come on an
I
adventure
trust
with
you.
me.
Kamal wants to know if you're allowed to use your video game voice
Ooh.
in
That's a great
public,
question.
in other media.
I actually
Scam
don't think
callers.
I know.
What?
Scam callers.
What's that?
All day. You know, scam callers who call your phone.
When
Yeah.
someone's scamming you and
Yeah.
calls you.
It's more fun than hanging up on them.
Right.
So you answer the phone, you're like, hey, how's it going? You want to sell me what? Wait, hold on a second. Hey, honey, do we need stocks in India?
It makes life a little more spicy. You know?
That's-
Joe wants to know what the most outrageous noise is that you've ever been asked to make in a
Ooh.
game.
In a game called Resident Evil, I believe it was 5.
I played that game. I love that game.
Oh, you know, this indie small game. You might not have heard of it. Resident Evil, I think 5? Come on, dude. Legend.
Do you recall the Screamer zombie?
Yes.
The one yeah, that was me. That was the. That guy?
Oh, this weird
Yeah.
sucking sound.
Right?
Oh my god, that was horrifying! You scared the out of me. I couldn't sleep many nights because of you.
I
That's
scared
amazing.
a whole group of a Japanese businessmen who came in from Capcom that day to watch the recordings.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to make up some sort of voice for the zombie, and I was like, well, what about that weird reverse scream? And they're like, what's the reverse scream? And I'm like, right? And they were like, whoa.
If you weren't a video game voice actor, what do you
I do a reverse scream. I do some character. I do some creature vocals as well. Not a ton, because if I don't want to only do creature vocals, and I know of certain noises that I can do that are not sustainable. So, note to anybody trying to be a voice actor, if you do a noise, if you can do a cool noise, but it hurts your throat after a while, or you can't do it for very long, just don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth saying you can do something, and then when you get into a session, they're like, okay, let's do this. Okay, we need 18 different variations on that, and you're like, I can't do that. Or you are like, yeah, I can do that, and then they ask you to, and you can do it for a long time, but then go with no voice. Not worth it. Don't do it. So that's why I don't do some of those, but I can definitely do a reverse scream. I call it my raptor voice. They're so fun to do. I actually did some weird noises for little creatures in a video game that is indie, but has a decent following that is coming out soon. So yeah, check on my Twitter if you want to see more updates about that, because I think the demo is coming out this summer. So yeah.
What do you think you'd be doing now instead?
I'd be talking somewhere. I'd be just annoying people in another way.
Esports.
Esports?
Esports.
You'd be an
all
esports
day.
gamer?
I love esports.
How do your parents feel about your career voicing video games? Not good? Your
Not
parents
good.
were not proud of that.
Not proud of that. It took a while.
How do your parents feel now?
Yao Ming is a very, very famous basketball player, and my dad is a huge fan. And the day I scored a commercial, Hawken GPS commercials with Yao Ming.
Oh, you were in it with Yao Ming?
I was in it with Yao Ming, and he was all in.
So immediately your dad was like, you know what?
That was the
Overnight.
litmus
I love
test.
this
Yep,
career.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. He was like, are you saying you can get me autographed basketballs from Yao Ming? I'm in.
Do you hope to be a video game voice actor until the day you die?
Probably gonna lose a lot of this by the time I'm like 60. Right.
Your voice is
But
gonna
then you can do other things.
It's a finite resource, right?
Yes.
It doesn't last you forever.
It doesn't reject.
And also, if you get known for or famous for doing the type of voice work that he does, it's an even more finite resource because you're putting your voice under a ton of stress all the time. There are ways to learn how to do it healthily, but there's only so much vocal stress mitigation you can do, and before it starts to take its toll, shall we say?
Generate at the speed in which it's deteriorating.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the problem. So it's, as much as I love doing video game work, and I love doing video game work, I'm on a clock.
Yeah, I'd like to die in the booth. I just want to. I want to be like mid pain, like a react pain, right? Like, ugh! Like, or a death scene, so they don't even actually know. They were like, that was so realistic.
So you hope video games kill you?
Yeah.
I brought a printout of a video game character who already exists, and I'd like to hear your own personal rendition of how you would do this character's voice.
This is
So maybe I will go and rescue the princess from the evil King Koopa. It's a me, Mario.
I'm gonna blast the Covenant out of existence, and you can't stop me. You better look out or I'm gonna run you over with my warthog.
What do you think the biggest misconception
very
about
fun.
video game voice acting is?
There does seem to be a lot of folks who think we make like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, you're famous, you're rich.
Yeah, that is so not the case. We're paid by a per project basis. We never get residuals on any of this stuff.
Probably that it's easy. I think a lot of people think, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
And once they get in the booth, they realize that, first of all, just maintaining your voice is hard because you really have to know how to use, any kind of singing technique you've had or any vocal training. You really have to support your breath and do all those things.
I have a parting gift for you.
Ooh.
You can grab this at padildoshop.com.
Best
But now you don't have to.
interviewer ever.
Best interviewer shirt, man.
What?
It's yours.
Baba Shar Shar, Baba Shar Shar, Baba. Shar Shar, Baba Shar. Baba Shar.
Oh, I can't believe Bulbasaur just told people to subscribe to my channel. Ah! All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out, promote anything you want directly into camera. Go.
Check out my Twitter and Instagram feed. It's just Tara Sands LA.
So you can find me at KG Tang on Twitter, and my favorite charity is the Child's Play charity. They get video games for sick kids. Check them out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Tara.
you.
And I feel like now I fully understand the wondrous world of video game voice
Heck
acting.
yeah, because you're one of us now.
I am now, apparently. After spending the day with these talented video game voice actors, I've come to realize that these are the true heroes who bring life and emotion to the deep immersion experienced in many video games. Without them, many of our favorite franchises would feel shallow or sterile. I know next time I play a video game, I'll remember just how much recognition these video game voice actors truly deserve. See you later, bye guys.
Press a like.
Press a like. Wowie wow. Yeah. You know, a lot. It's tough to say I relate to a lot of that because, I mean, I related to a decent amount, as you guys can tell by how long this video is and how much I chimed in. But at the same time, these people are leagues ahead of me. And also started voice acting in a very, very, very different industry environment than I did. See, 13 years ago or 20 years ago, there were independent, like, indie games, but there weren't that many. And a lot of the voice acting that was, like, on the internet and done over the internet was in, on, like, Newgrounds and stuff like that. And it was all, like, some of it was really good, but a lot of it was, like, amateurish, like, teenagers, like, being like, oh, yeah, come voice in my Flash game. And maybe there was an indie market then that I am not aware of because I was not a part of it, you know? But so you, in order to get these roles, you kind of had to, like, people didn't have home booths as much. Like, I'm sure some people did, but you had to live in, like, Los Angeles, or for anime, like, also Los Angeles, but, like, or Dallas. You had to live in these places in order to get these jobs. And it was very much like go into a studio, network there, or get a job at a studio, network there, make friends with people who recorded at these studios and knew about these projects and these auditions and stuff. And it still is like that to an extent, but it's partially because of the pandemic and partially because just technology. It's a very different environment. So to say I relate to this is like, yes and no, you know? These people, I mean, like I said, throughout this video, these people are legends. Like, legends. I don't know if you could tell by, oh yeah, I voiced Bulbasaur. Oh, I voiced in Resident Evil 5? Like, legends. So I guess what I'm saying is take all that I've said, which is a lot, in this video with a grain of salt. Because I am, I'm auditioning for some of these things, but I haven't booked them yet. And I have, not been professionally voice acting for more than 2 years at this point. So I hope you enjoyed all of the word vomit that came out of my mouth during this video, but also take it with a grain of salt. Because somebody at my level, or someone leagues ahead of me, or some, like these people, or people in between, are gonna have different opinions about things. So especially if, I don't know, maybe no one who's watching this is looking to try and become a voice actor. But if you're a person out there watching this who wants to become a voice actor, don't just take I'm hitting my mic again, moving around, hitting your mic. Don't just take my word for it. Look, like, Voice Acting Club, casting call credits, look at all of these resources and learn all that you can from different sources, if this is something you're trying to pursue. I'm sure what I'm saying applies somewhere, but please, please, please do some digging and learn more. There's so much out there on the internet now. So if you want to learn more about voice acting, learn more. You can. There are more videos like this. There are like forums. There are places you can take classes virtually. So yeah. Anyway, this has been a long, long video, but thank you. If you've stuck to the end, thank you for sticking to the end with me. Yeah. And if you liked this content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. And you'll see more content like this very, very soon.